So today we're going to do warm-ups 5 and 6 that you'll be submitting. So I'm going to put a 5 in the top. I'm going to divide my sketchbook in half. Put my 6 down here. And then I'm going to pull the camera closer to focus on 5 as I work on that one. And so in 5, we're actually going to do 2 short drawings. We're going to be doing a sort of a hat with a cone for the top. So you're going to draw an upside down V. And then at the bottom, we're going to put the front edge of an ellipse. If this hat was see-through, we would see the other side through here, but it's not. So we're only going to draw this curve. This must be curved. If it's flat, you can't get credit. So from the base of these 2 lines, you're going to come out and put a dot. Those are going to be the 2 things you connect when you do this ellipse. So this ellipse here is going to be like the brim of the hat. And it would be, so let's say I do the bottom one first. I normally do the top one first, but I'm going to do the bottom one first, okay? So we can tell what our curve is. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to try and match that on the other side. So if we had a line that went through here, we were trying to make the same curve on the other side, we would see it coming up. It would stop at the hat, and I'm just going to let my pencil travel through, come down on the other side, and pick up. Now I'm going to give it an extra. I'm going to give it a band. The band would be on a curve. I'm going to give it a buckle. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm going to give it some little stars. Just little funky stars. There we go. Alright, and then I'm going to get rid of where I put this extra little line, and there's your first hat. For the second hat, we're going to do more like a top hat, so we're going to give us our dots. We'll create our ellipse for the top of the hat, and then it's going to have sort of caved in sides. So when we draw these, we're going to allow them to be sort of curved, so we can see it's like fabric and not stiff, like made out of glass or wood or something. And then this curve is still going to sit here. So the same curve that's at the here. And then from these 2 points, we're going to go out. And if we do the bottom of our ellipse first, that's the one we can see. And that's a little bit easier sometimes. And then from here, we're going to pretend like we're creating the same above. So whatever this is here, we're creating here, so we're going to go this way, and then we're just going to pick up our pencil through here, and as we come out on the far side, it should look like these connect. If they don't look like they connect, you got to fix them till they do. Then I'm going to, on this one, I'm again going to do a band at the bottom. This one I'm going to fill in, and I'm going to do like a feather here. I could do something else. I don't know. I'm going to do a double feather. There we go. Okay, so there our hat now has some detail. All right, so for the, and I'm going to get rid of the guidelines right here. So for 5, you should have a cone and then a modified cylinder that's like slouching. For number 6, this one's a little more challenging. If you have to stop and like slow it down as I do it, you can pause the video. Okay, for this one, I'm going to start with 2 dots. They're going to be straight across from each other. You have to do this. When you do the next thing, you're going to divide this line in half. We've been doing this already before, and we're going to create our other 2. These are closer together, same distance from here. And then we're going to connect to create that diamond. If you do not create this diamond correctly, it makes this drawing impossible. Okay, so I've got my diamond. I'm going to get rid of the guidelines in here, just so they aren't confusing me. Now, I'm going to do true vertical, true vertical, true vertical. So I'm trying to get it as vertical up and down with the side here as I can. And the next thing I'm going to do is whatever this angle is, some of you are still worrying me, this angle has to drag and become here. So I'm going to create that angle that matches the top, and then on this side this angle matches here. So I might have made that line too long. I did. I'll just erase it. I'm not just going to force it to connect. If you are pulling a line and it's going straight across this bottom, your cube is now flat and does not go back in space. So these angles at the bottom, and I'm sending you guys some notes when I'm grading them, has to angle up. If you don't have that angling up, you can't do this drawing. Okay, so the next thing is this. I'm going to come into this side of this cube and I'm going to put a vertical line dividing it in half. I'm going to do the same on this side. Then wherever this is where I'm going to start my line. I'm going to send it following this angle, and if you look, it's going right through that where that X was. It's going to go straight to the other side. So this angle, this angle, this angle should be the same or as close as you can get them. And then here, this angle, and wherever this is going to become this angle, all the same. And now we're going to do the sides. So we'll come halfway down, and we're going to put a line following the same angle. So these should be about the same angle. I mean, your eye is not, my eye is not perfect, but it's going to at least attempt to get to the right angle so that it looks like it's moving back in space. And then once you're here, you're going to shade this side. And you can smooth it with your blending stub. That's going to tell us that our light source is up here. And then you're going to do a cast shadow. Now listen, your cast shadow should follow this rule. You just extend this line longer. You create the same angled line on the other side. Some of you are dropping your cast shadow straight down. I want you to follow this angle out. And then your cast shadow will be here. You can also smooth that. Now, we have to add extras. Oh, we have to add our ground line. So ground line, I'm going to do this so it doesn't intersect with this line. I'm going to come above there. Okay, now it's not floating in space. It actually has been anchored to the ground. And I now need to do extras. You could do the bow on the top. And in the drawing, you could do, I don't know, something coming out of the space. I think I'm going to do that. You could also divide this even further and make it into like a Rubik's Cube. That's going to be up to you. You could make it into a building where you're putting, you know, a window, maybe office building, windows here, doors, whatever. But I'm going to stick to sort of the plan, and I'm going to give it a bow. I'm going to give it some thickness. I'm going to fill it in so I can't see through it. And then I'm going to give it some strings. Because you know, who doesn't like a present? And I'm going to give it a tag, so I'm going to give it a little and you can send it to whoever you want to. I'm going to put TP because that's Thurman Posey. And that's it. And you will photograph and submit.